I have a question to ask you. Did you ever stare at a blank piece of paper like this guy here, afraid to make that first line because you might make a mistake? Well, let me tell you something. The worst mistake you could make would be not to try. Hi, I'm Bruce Blitz, and welcome to Cartooning with Blitz. And let me tell you, the first rule of drawing or cartooning is to just have fun with it. You're an artist. Express yourself. And that's what we'll be doing today, expressing ourselves and having fun with it. And we'll do a few cartoons right here in the studio, and later on we'll spin the wheel of features, see what kind of wacky face we can come up with. And for our feature of the day, we'll go to the International Museum of Cartoon Art in Boca Raton, Florida. It's a great place for cartooners like us. And for our doodle trick portion, a neat chalk talk gag that has a surprise ending. I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you're ready not to be like this guy here, let's draw cartoons. And I really am glad you joined me today. We have a great show for you. I'd like to start off with talking about art supplies a little bit. Now, for laying out cartoons, you can use a number 2 pencil like this, number 2 school pencil with a little eraser on top, very easy to find. Or I use an HB sometimes, which is available in an art store, which is really very much the same kind of lead, just a little harder maybe, but really the number 2 school pencil is great. Most cartoonists use that all the time, as do I. Now, for an eraser, well, here's the old pink eraser that you see everywhere, and that's a great eraser. Any eraser will really do. This is the same kind of eraser you see on the tip of a pencil. Or the kneaded rubber eraser. That's kneaded with a K, K-N-E-A-D-E-D, not pronounced kneaded. And what you do is you knead it like a piece of dough or clay, and it cleans itself. And the good thing about this is it doesn't leave a lot of crumbs. It leaves some crumbs, but not many. And you can shape it like this and get into a hard-to-reach spot so you don't have to ruin your drawing, erase too much. All right, now for the marker. Well, the selection is vast, so I suggest you go to an art store and experiment as to which one you like best. But I'll be using a pretty large point here today because I want you to see it at home. So they come in all different sizes. So let's get started, and let's lay out our first cartoon with the pencil. And we're going to concentrate today on hobbies. We'll draw a couple pictures with people's hobbies. And I got a hobby for you. How about cooking? We'll have a guy cooking. Now we'll start with our pencil. We're going to use a pencil to lay out this cartoon, and then we'll go in and we'll flesh out. Now don't get scared. Flesh out is an artist term that means add some flesh to the actual stick figure that we're laying down right now. And I see that? That's going to be his arm, and this circle indicates where the hand will be. And here's his other arm, and another circle, and we'll put in, he'll be standing in front of a stove because he's going to be cooking. Let's put a skillet right there. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Make some guidelines, make his head looking off this way, because remember, we always think of this as a three-dimensional shape, not just a flat circle on a page. It has roundness. So now let's go back with our marker and flesh out. We'll put an ear on him right here and a nose right in that where that guideline meets. And a big smile because he's happy he's cooking, and 2 ovals for his eyes. And we're going to have him looking up because he's going to be flipping a flapjack. That's not easy to say, friends. And there's the top of his head. He has no hair. And down here. Now, this line here that we used for his arm, we're going to flesh it out by putting a sleeve in. And here's his arm. Now, right about here, we're going to put in his thumb and his fingers holding a skillet. And a skillet is nothing more than a cylinder shape. Okay, now let's put in his collar. Now, there's the old M trick. Put an M right there. And then connect these lines back, and it looks like a collar coming forward, doesn't it? Neat little trick. And here's his body. And let's see, let's put an apron on him, because he's cooking. And here's his pants in the back. We'll just darken that right in. Now let's put in the stove. And let's see, we'll put some detail in, like the burners. How's that? Just swirlies, like that, like it's an electric range. A couple here, too, maybe. All right, now, for this hand here, we'll put in the spatula. And this is with the palms facing us, so the fingers wrap around this way. Now we just connect it with his forearm. And put in the spatula with some detail in it. Okay, now let's put a pancake right up here. Now, what do you see? We see nothing. We see a guy cooking with something holding here, and a flapjack in the air. but there's no motion, is there? So we have to add some motion. Before we do, though, I'm going to use my kneaded rubber eraser, and I'm going to erase the pencil lines. And this is how you lay out a cartoon. This is the whole process at a glance here, because you do this, you go over the whole drawing, and the ink lines stay, the pencil lines go, and you've got your finished cartoon to add color to. So let's take a little cartoon maroon and add some effects and accessories to make this look like it's flipping. How about that one right there? And some more here, and I like that. So maybe some sizzle, S-I-Z-Z-Z-L-E. We're going to make it really sizzling. And let's add some color to his face. I don't know about you, but this is making me pretty hungry. And I'm using my color sticks for this. Look how nice that comes out, real nice and vivid. And let's see, let's give him some checks for a shirt. Okay, let's see, we'll make his hair gray. Now, you know what the color of this gray is? It's called Make My Gray. That's what it's called. Maybe a little toon tan for the pancake. And a little yellow for the background. And we've got a real nice sketch here of a fella cooking. Now, one more last effect. Smack. And that's coming from him because he's smacking his lips, he's hungry. And now we'll go on to our next, it's time for the pun of the day. Ready? You take a look at this and tell me what you think it is. Get it? The door is ajar. All right. Let's go on. Let's do another one. Let's do another hobby. And this time, we'll draw a little girl reading a mystery novel. That's a hobby, reading. And we'll start right here with the book. The spine, and the book goes off that way. And we come down and leave a little gap there because that's going to be her fingers wrapping around. So here's the spine, and here go up this side and coming down. And there you have it. Now let's put some pages in and some detail in the book. It's called Who Did It? That's a good name for a mystery novel, right? And a big question mark. Now we'll put the girl in. Now this is a real quickie because we're just going to put a little half circle in right there for the little girl and some bangs. And what you see really are her eyes. And that's going to tell the whole story here. Maybe her nose a little bit peeks out, but some pigtails or ponytails coming out this way. One here, kind of balances out the sketch. And one here. And her fingers wrapping around holding the book. And the cartoon effects and accessories on this book would be, what else? Question marks if it's a mystery novel. Oh boy, she's scared. Oh, I like this. All right, now let's spin the wheel of features. Now, as you may or may not know, the wheel of features can create thousands and thousands of faces, and all you have to do is spin these wheels, and whatever comes in this area here, that's the face we're going to draw. Well, we've got a mouth, we've got a nose, and some eyes. Let's see what kind of facial outline we get. Oh, that's a pretty good face. Look at that one right there. Okay, we'll start with his facial outline, and he looks like he's got a banana head. I like that one. Let's start with that. Okay, we'll start with his ear right here. And let's see, his face comes out like this, just like a banana. And sometimes that's a great way to remember shapes. Start with vegetables. Just don't do it a bad job because you could have steamed vegetables. You get it? Some hair. All right, we got the facial outline done. Now for the eyes. Well, his eyes are half closed or half open, depending on how you look at things, friends. As I always say, one eyebrow up, one eyebrow down, like he's contemplating something. Now his nose. Well, his nose is a bulbous nose. And his mouth, well, he's happy. He's happy. I'll tell you why he's happy. Yeah, it came out good. He's happy because he's ready for the feature of the day. Stay tuned.
Okay, guys, this is the comic book class. In this class, I will teach you how to do a comic book. You know, page by page, panel by panel. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, is this comic book class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not late or anything, am I? Not disturbing you?
No, come in, please.
Oh, okay, sure. How you doing, guys? Good to see you. Oh, shh. What's the matter? Man, it's trying to teach a class. What's the matter with you? Just go right, like I'm not here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sit right there. Don't worry about it.
Like
Okay.
I've been saying,
Hey,
this is a
Bring your homework in?
comic book class.
Oh, hey, what do you got?
And,
hey, all right. I like this stuff. What do you got? You know, I have my stuff.
excuse me, can you be a little quiet over there?
Shh, man, it's trying to teach. What's the matter with you? Quiet.
Okay. This is a comic book class, and we will do here a comic book about space station. You got in there your page with a script.
Did you ever see this? This is big.
And can you please stop doing that?
Come on, the man's trying to teach. Can't you be good? Come on, sit upright like this. Go ahead.
And again, this is
What do you say?
the comic book class. And we will try to. Excuse me. Can you please show me what you're doing? Yes, I'm talking to you. Come here. Yeah, yes, you. I would like to see what's so funny.
Here. Not really my
Let me
fault,
see what
actually.
you're doing.
Well, it's not me, actually. It's that kid right there. You got to watch out.
Yeah. You know, this is very good.
It is?
Yeah, very good.
Not bad, huh?
No, it's very good. You can draw. That's very good.
You mean I'm not in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble.
I can't believe it. Why not?
Because this is a class which teaches cartooning, and that's perfect.
Oh, that's right. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, that's all right. Well, we're here at the International Museum of Cartoon Art in Boca Raton, Florida, and it's true. This is the comic book class at the Cartoon Camp, and we're having a great time here, and it's a great place for learning how to draw cartoons, to sharpen your skills for cartooners like us. And I am standing here with the instructor of the class, the man I've been giving a hard time to, internationally acclaimed comic book artist, Jose Delbo. Welcome him, guys. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
If anybody is qualified to teach comic book art, it is you, Jose. Your work is outstanding. It's beautiful and so detailed and very diverse. Now, could you tell a little bit, first of all, how long have you been doing this?
Well, for a long time, over 45 years.
45 years. Can't hold a job, huh, Jose? It's a shame. Well, could you list some of the things you've done, some of the characters and comic books you've worked for?
Yes. I did a lot of characters. I did almost every superhero you can remember. I did Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman,
and we're back in the 60s and early 70s. You did a lot of television shows. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I did most of the television shows. I did The Brady Bunch, The Monkees, Hogan Heroes.
So the television shows we put into comic book form, you would draw them?
Right. I did Repertoire, The Big Valley, Uncle Ben. A lot of.
Well, it's only a half-hour show, Jose. I'll tell you, we got a lot of things. That's an amazing. That's a very impressive list.
You asked me.
I did ask you. That's true. As you can tell, friends, Jose is from London, from the way he speaks. Right? No, that's not true. No, where are you from, Jose?
Actually, from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Which is actually in London. A lot of people don't know that, but okay. Well, you know, before I so rudely interrupted you here, you were teaching them how to fill up a panel and how to approach the comic book.
Right.
So could you do that right now?
Yeah, sure.
First?
Why not?
Okay. Now, what is this first one going to be?
This is a splash page of the comic book.
Okay. So you're working pretty large now. Okay. Now you're following the instruction.
That would be the panel that the kids have with the caption here, who tells the story.
Okay.
What's happening here? We got a space station.
Okay. And the space station is something that you're kind of making up as you go along. You're making it look important with a lot of lines and a lot of buzzers and bells and protrusions. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you just make it up for any? You have any kind of reference or in your mind that you're?
Well, yes, and after doing so many of this, you know, during a long career, you know, some stage in your mind, you know.
Now, what would this be called now, what you're drawing, this round part here?
That can be called a bagel, you know.
A bagel, okay.
Yeah, actually what we're doing is...
There's no cream cheese. I'd send that back.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Then this is to show three-dimensional.
All right.
And then, now, the important
I see.
thing is to give the kids the idea that this is a huge space station with hundreds of people inside.
Okay. And what would do that? What would tell that other than, you know, it's on a small page?
We need to put tiny windows all over.
Ah.
You know, for the size of the windows and the details in here.
I see. Okay.
You know, we give it the idea that it's a really, really huge space station.
So that kind of detail is what those are. Okay. Now, what other element is told as the instruction in the caption for what we have to do in this splash page?
Well, and there says that the space station there to protect, to shield planet Earth.
Okay, so...
Then we need to show planet Earth here.
So we're just going to suggest that in the lower right-hand corner we're going to have Earth in there. Okay, so you got the two elements interacting.
And then, of course, we need to show part of the continents. That would be North America, South America, and then some clouds and whatever. And this, of course, this is space. Has to be dark.
So this will be black.
Yeah, and some stars and that.
I see. Then you would work with white paint to dab in and make some stars and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Use white paint.
You got these two elements laid out like that.
Yes.
Now, approach it from a different perspective for us, okay? So we get a whole different way of telling the same story.
Of course. You know, every shot, they have many different ways to do the shot. Again, we need that caption in there.
Right.
And then we need to do a different shot. Now we come closer to the space station. The space station will be here.
So
real close.
I see.
Will be the same space station, right? With antennas and there.
Right. So you started up the upper left because you're closer. You've zeroed in and you've moved it a little bit in the panel.
Right. Again, we need to give the idea that this thing is a huge.
Now, with composition like this that you're doing, is it purely a personal choice, or are there certain rules that just must be followed, or does even the editor of the magazine or the storyteller tell you what he'd like to see, or a little bit of everything?
You know, you get on a script.
Yes.
The writer will tell you. The writer will tell you what he wants, or his idea about how to approach a panel.
So, okay, he would say he would rather see this close up?
You will follow his idea 100%, or you will decide to change the angle because you think probably another shot would be more interesting.
I see.
I mean, you got, they already has the last, again, a lot of details, a lot of things in there.
Okay.
And now the difference here is we got a close-up.
I see.
This close-up gives us the opportunity to put more detail.
Sure.
You can put lettering in there, like United Nations and codes that says 221.
Good, okay.
And more windows and more details, probably more antennas in here.
I see. Now what about Earth? Now we can't put that here, or would we?
No, we don't have a space. Now probably we can show planet Earth.
Great,
here.
okay.
Because as you know, in space it's not up and down.
Sure, it can be anywhere, that's right.
And then we got, again, we show a little bit of the continents and clouds and everything.
I see, it's great. I like that. Okay, then let's do maybe the first panel of telling the story, of the story. Now,
okay, now we go in, that's the splash page, or panel, that is like an establishing shot.
That tells the reader what's happening.
Right, and also where it happens.
Okay.
Now we move inside the space station.
Okay.
And the script in there mentions that guys watching, screens and radar screens, and then what we need to do is, we can start with a simple shot to see what, to follow the script idea.
Okay, so he's sitting there.
I mean, we got a guy here,
And we're seeing him from the back, it looks a little bit.
Yes.
A little back side. So
right. That way we give us the chance to...
Okay.
We can put some details, badges and things like that. Then here we have another chair, more or less following that direction, and then we have the back or the head of another guy here.
Now we're seeing from the angle of what they're looking at.
Right.
Okay, which is?
Now this guy probably is talking to this guy.
Okay.
And then this guy is, you know, pushing a button.
Okay.
And here, we got the console here.
All right.
And then we got here the screen. That can be very elaborated thing. Doesn't need to be as simple as
Gotcha.
this. You know,
Good.
more gadgets, a lot of gadgets, and you know, you can put a lot of things in there.
Okay, now approach that same panel.
Okay.
From a different way.
Okay, that's a simple way.
That's a
now
simple
we can
way.
go a little more elaborated.
Okay.
Now, caption again. And then we decided to see through something in the foreground. What we got here is a guard. Of course, the guy would be dressed in futuristic clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Can have one of those things with a mic in there.
Sure.
To communicate.
Uh-huh.
And a backpack. And he is holding a huge, real huge gun.
Oh, okay. Now this is a futuristic thing, so he can have any kind of gadget
because
and anyone.
It's in the future, remember?
Ah, okay. Now he's not in here to look at computers. He's there just to help establish also what is going on in this panel. He's a guard, and there's guys looking at computers, and he's there too.
You know, he's there to stop intruders in case you know somebody comes to. Okay, this is the guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, we put a little emphasis. You know, we go a little darker here because I want this gun to be the frame. That's what's going on here.
Okay, now put the guys in here looking at computers.
Here, you know, where we have the guys in a different shot. Now the guys are sitting in there. Again, we need to remember that it's in the future. We try to do some kind of futuristic chair.
Uh-huh. A little bent there on the...
Right? The guy sitting there, and then we got the other guy here.
Okay, so basically you've got the same shot, but it's got a lot more drama to it, doesn't it?
Right. That's the idea.
Okay.
Now, we got the screens, more screens, and probably we can have something.
That's great.
Coming from there.
Great. So there's a lot.
Also,
go ahead.
And then also, you know, we can end all the machinery here, and still we can add something more that will be the background to fill that empty space, but should be done light.
Okay.
In a way that doesn't, you know, interfere with the foreground and the middle ground. We can have here, you know, a catwalk. Doing a simple with details, but should be done simple, not too much.
I see.
And then we can have some people here.
People, okay, I see what you're doing. So you have someone large here, middle size here, and then you have some small people in the background.
Some people there, and you can have as many people you want in there,
Very nice.
but done in a light way.
Yeah, you see, this panel has got a lot of depth now because of those three elements.
Right.
Well, Jose, thank you so much for having us. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, if I'd had a class like this, that would have been great, and to have a teacher like you would even have been better. So I want to thank you for having me today. And
thank you for coming.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you. And I want to thank the International Museum of Cartoon Art for having us today. And you guys, thanks for letting me come and disrupt your class, okay? And for you at home, stay tuned for Cartoon Doodle Tricks. This is great. Now for our doodle trick today, some friends stopped by because they always love when I do doodle tricks. How you doing, guys?
We're great. Good.
Okay, we're going to do a story gag today with a surprise ending. And it starts with this instrument right here, and we're going to do the story of the hero of the North Woods, a legendary lumberjack. Now, what kind of tool does a lumberjack use? What's that? An axe, that's right. And you always want to close up your lines because you don't want to be accused of not having your axe together. That's, okay. Anyway, he could cut down trees. Let's draw some trees. Faster than 10 men. Let's draw some big trees here, and let's draw some grass down here. And they said that he could put them into logs so fast that nobody could believe it. Let's draw some logs here. This was the first chopping center. Get that? Okay. But he never boasted or bragged about anything. No, not him. When anybody would ask him how strong he was, he would just laugh. And of course, when he laughed, the trees shook and the mountains shook. And they say when he was a baby, it took 14 cows to get him enough milk. That's one big baby, huh? Now, you may or may not know who I'm talking about, but for you who don't, I'd like to introduce him to you right now. The hero of the North Woods, the legendary lumberjack, Mr. Paul Bunyan. Like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it at home, and I hope you guys did. And for our tip of the day, learning to draw is like anything else. Sometimes you have to go to the library and look up stuff, because artists who read are the ones who succeed. Make sense?
Yeah.
I'm Brusa Blica. Thanks for being with me today, and help me out, guys.
Keep
on
on
cartooning. That's right.